beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today.
You are watching Wedding Banter on Atlantic Television Network. This program highlights issues about wedding preparation, post-wedding and marital issues, as stakeholders relive their most special moments, the rigors of wedding preparation, and the joy therein. And of course, today we're going to be looking at bliss money. Can marriage survive without money? All right, let's get to hear this. Getting married change your financial life picture. Of course, that is all you're going to be looking at today. When we return from this short break, I will introduce my guests for do stay with us.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on-spot news, live analysis, expert sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Wedding Banter on Atlantic Television Network, and joining me this evening, one cannot eat, because of course we have seen families, they can put food under. There are so many persons with of course they are financially stable, like you have said, and yet they have not been able to put one or two together in their home to make their marriage stand. And also there are people who do not even have, but it's going so well. So what are those things? And you said something, there are things that men are looking for and women are equally looking for.
We need to look beyond just the physical. This is an emotional thing that people that are tied to you. You imagine someone they just met. This is like a mystery. And you share nothing. And those things, the glamorous wedding, we had the party, everybody was jumping up and down. Oh, that ends. No. We need to daily supervision in this marriage. There are basic things that I want you to bring to the table. It is not, yet they are not satisfied. Because the man is not bringing something to the table. They must bring ideas to the table. We must build our home with ideas. There are things we must build. We must form a team. We must become a team. We must know how to pray if you are Christians. If you are Muslim, we must also know how to pray. If you are a traditionalist, you marry a traditionalist. You cannot look at me in the eyes and I'm a traditionalist and you tell me that my religion is rubbish and walk away to carry a Bible. A home must be run like a project, not what you bring on the table. Perhaps some days today, there are men that does not even need your money. You are working with matching in our society today. The reason why our parents were going about Mazi daughter, that Mazi by the market square, probably you're in Port Harcourt, in the city, or in Lagos, and your parents are in the village. They come to tell you, we have seen a wife for you. And because they actually know the generational issues with them, they used to run, so they actually look at, no, this would not be nice for my son. Oh, Mazi's daughter would be better. And that was how, in the 90s, marriages, or in the 80s, we were working proper. But today, we have come up with the new ideas, the new community, where these ideas are dumb, and thinking that our parents were too old school to select for us, and eventually fall into a trap without having to check her background. You do not know much about her. And so, the yes to you go and borrow money, this is a foundation. And if we lay it well for you, it will go well. And because we have condemned their philosophy to say they are too old for us, for them to choose for us, then we went our separate ways to choose. Probably meant they get in the city. There are a lot of people in this city who are actually married without having to know the parents of the girl. There are a lot of
because we're talking about money. You know, most moment they found out that where you are coming from, you are eating from hand to mouth, despite the level of intimacy that they have, they will start questioning and asking the man or the daughter or the son, are you sure you really want to go in here? So don't you think that parents somehow contribute to what is going on right now in our society?
well, agreed. Yes, because people actually want fancy, and they go with the fancy. It's disheartening how people, like I said, are built on falsehood. We build a relationship on falsehood. Most of these people who are successful today in our society didn't get there. And so most parents are part of the reasons why these homes are broken. Yeah, we tend to encourage that pattern. Like, where is she coming from? Whose daughter is she? You know, everybody wants a better life for our child. Everybody wants a better life for our son.
And this is where money comes in.
And that's where money comes in. But for me, it's beyond just money. Like I said, it's a project.
Trades. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around on ATN. From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on from the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Wedding Banter on Atlantic Television Network. Remember, you can join us on all our media platforms, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1, X, Atlantic TV Net. You can also watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Yeah, we were talking about blissfulness of marriage without money. Can marriages survive without money? I would like to know, but let me remind you that he said something, that marriage is a project. It is a teamwork, and it must, both parties must come together to make it work, irrespective of the challenges. Now, how does financial stress impact marital happiness, and what strategies can couples use to mitigate its effect? How can it affect, and how can they mitigate the effect on their marriage, especially with you've first of all mentioned this high calibers of individuals
Okay.
that they are financially buoyant.
Okay.
They are financially stable,
Okay.
but they can't keep their home going. So how can this affect their happiness in home? Of course, we know that money can bring happiness, but not joy. Money is a temporal. Happiness is temporal. It's not permanent.
Okay.
So how can money bring happiness? How can it affect, and how can couples control it to not go beyond issues?
To live in marriages without money. That should be the question. What can be done to sustain a marriage without having money as an issue? Because, like you said, a lot of marriages are broken.
Yeah, of course, we're actually coming to that. You know, you said something that, of course, there are so many things that can actually bring happiness in a home and not necessarily money.
Yeah.
All right. So that is why I'm asking for those people that feels, of course, a lot of persons still feels that marriage is money is the ultimate in marriage.
Okay.
So how does it impact their happiness? And again, what strategies can they use to mitigate that it doesn't bring problem? We talk about some celebrities who feels that, of course, they have the money, but now still the same money that's supposed to bring happiness in the home, I tear them apart. So that is why I'm asking that question first before we come to the one you were talking about.
Well, I think we need to go beyond just the physical. Marriage is a spiritual thing. That union is spiritual. It's one of the 7 wonders of the world, if you will allow me to use that word. Because I don't see why, I don't see how possible someone's daughter would come to live with you 40, 80, 100 years of her life without having to remember that she come from so village. That's a mystery. So for me, this is my wife. So we must build together. We must live together. You know, I must know your pain. I must see you when you're crying. I must come to give a pat on your back when you're doing well. I must encourage you all through the way. That's the essence of being together. So we can't live together like cat and dog in the same house and expect that to be called marriage. No, that's not marriage. So money, yes, it has a role to play its own part. But beyond marriage, there are communications. There's a lingua franca that run in the home. The basic norms in the home must be observed. That way, you can go and travel and your husband is safe anywhere. Your husband can travel to the moon and you're sure, certainly sure, that upon return, he's coming back faithful. He's coming back happily. And so, that's what we should be looking at.
Wow, thank you so much. And then we go to the ultimate, because of course we cannot just be talking, advising without hitting the main thing, without telling them how. If we have done the what, the who, the and all that, the why, we have come back now to the how. So the question that you wanted to answer, and now I'm asking you now, how can marriages survive? How can marriages survive without money? How can they build their home on a foundation that has nothing, that money will not come in between? Even though we know that they need money, we need money in marriage. In fact, everything in life, you need money to be able to sail on.
Okay.
But how can they build marriages without having to have issues of financial challenge, even though it is there?
Okay, one is to have trust. Trust brings about bond. Bonding is one of the issues that we must bring to the table. When you have trust, issues of money will be managed, will be better managed. Every home will be better managed when there is trust. I know what you earn. You know what I earn. And we have projects and programs to run as a home. We should be able to agree on the best of schools we enroll our children. We should be able to agree on the kind of dresses and the kind of thing we can afford. We should be able to agree on the kind of how we should run the extra oversight of the home. Otherwise, the marriage cannot be sustained. The little we have as money can go wrong. It's called currency. The little we have can transform the home when there is a good communication. The little we have can transform us when there is bonding. When you can still look into my eyes and say, oh, this is the husband I married 20 years ago, and it's renewable, and it's renewal every day. That way, the home can be sustained. And so the little money, when there is trust, and there is a yes to this trust, it's a bond in the bank. You'll be sure that your husband is alive for you. You'll be sure your wife is alive for you. Even when she travels out of the country, you know that definitely that's your wife, because there's communication. I know couples, but I don't want to mention their name here. They call themselves the same name, the same way they met the day they got married. Their marriage is close to 20 years today.
Wow.
And most times, I've gone to their home. I wish I could actually borrow something from them. I wish I could emulate the man, because he calls the wife almost all the time. He calls her my baby. That's just like a baby of yesterday. And I've said it, you know, there are things that you shouldn't bring into the marriage if you know you can't sustain it. One of my townsmen said his wife should not call him back, to call him baby. Because eventually if they get quarreled today and they end up in the police station, they won't be able to make a statement and say, baby, my baby now did this to me. Maintain a name that you know, that eventually if there's a quarrel, you can still call me. So, so we must, like I said, these couples are wonderful. Every day I celebrate them, because they understand each other. And that's what is sustaining them. They do not have so much money. In this Port Harcourt, they live on the rent. They are living on rent in a very expensive area of Port Harcourt. But what are they doing? They make money. They make legal money. They bring money to the table. They converse. There's a conversation. If you go to their home, they light things you up. The children are happy. The children are happy. It's not about how much they have in their pocket. Every day I look at them. Should I mention them here? No. But I look at them, I said, oh, these are couples. I want to emulate them. Because they actually live in the GRA. They don't have the house. They pay like 3 or 4 million per annum. And the wife runs a little business. The man also is an architect. And they are doing well. They are not rich people. But these are people, you go to them every day. There is no program, there is no project that they have ever failed to do together. Wow. Yeah. You see surprising packages for the wife. You see surprising packages for the husband. That means that there was something. That's the same thing they did from the beginning of their relationship, you know, like I was told. So it is something that is expedient that we should also do as couples. Try to keep that word, that vow we had from the beginning, to sustain the marriage through the marriage. Even the wife, even the children would not come between them. You know, the children would not come between them. They have love. That is bonding. And so that's my take on this matter. And I hope that we will continue to learn. It's an institution that everybody said it is difficult to stay inside. Those people who are inside want to run out. Those who are out want to come in. Every day you see people on social media, marriages are ongoing. Very nice, beautiful, very arranged, organized marriages. But within the shortest time, it's crashed. But we need to look at beyond just that fantasy. We need to bring to the table to know that this thing we came together to build is a project and require partnership. There must be love evolving every day, and that's the essence of life. Thank you.
And in conclusion, money is not very important.
Money is not, it's just an integral part of marriage. It's not as important as the marriage. Marriage is life itself. Money is not life. Marriage is life itself. It's a union. It's life itself. Money is just a little player who comes to play to make things, get those things done. Of course, there are people who today, they have decided to cut their coat according to their size. And so when you have that, that mentality or ideology, cut your coat according to your size and run your home. You won't, because Mr. A is running on diesel, you know, having a big lister every day in his home. So your husband should go and buy diesel. Buy the lister generator to power your house so they can live in an AC room. But that's not true. That's not possible.
Everyone have their own manual to read.
Yes. So
all right. Thank you so much, Mr. Giadon.
Fred Giadon. Yes, Fred Giadon. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I hope that, of course, people are actually learning. And I'm very certain that we were able to provide solution to a lot of persons out there.
Thank you for having me.
It was beautiful having you on the show. Thank you so much. And then we will just join Port Harcourt residents to get their own opinion on if blissfulness of marriage can actually function without money. Let's get to hear from them. When we return, we will just draw the curtain from there till next week. Let's join them.
Of course, marriage can survive without money. Because if you see our parents, they don't even have, but they stay in marriages 30 years, 40 years, they celebrate long time in marriage. It's just that sometimes we young ones, we expect too much. And when your expectation is high and you enter the marriage, it doesn't work that way. That's what brings this divorce and all these marriages that doesn't work. But if it's about average money, you can survive without money in marriage. Marriage is not about money. Marriage is commitment, is love, is communication, is understanding. So for me as an individual, marriage is not about money, because you need to have your own money too. You as the woman, it's not only when the man has, then you now be relying on him. You're supposed to have your own money. That's why you're being trained to go to school too. So if your husband has average and you have average, that's too much. Marriage is not built on money, so remove your mind from money in marriage.
Marriage is under 2 weeks. Marriage survives without money when it is builded by God. Because God is the all and all. So you find it that their surviving depend on God. Whether money or no money, because money is not everything. People say money is answered all things, but money is not everything. I believe that God is everything. So any marriage that is not builded, that is not found by under God, it will not survive.
It's very good to marry, with substantial things that you can manage with. This time around, love is built on what you see, how you can survive, not where you're going to die. Where you're going to die is not where you can find love. So in this present Nigerian state now, what is necessary is for one to at least have some stable income for you to be able to run your family, because it's all bills every day. So that's the challenge. So if you don't have anything doing that can yield you some money on day-to-day, daily basis, it's very difficult. So most women don't marry for money. Most women go to settle down where they can have some means of livelihood, at least some bare necessity. So it comes with some little money.
Marriage can survive without a strong financial base, because in marriage, remember that marriage is a union contracted by two persons, and according to one's level or one's exposure or family setting or one's status in the society, depends on how far you can get someone you marry. Mostly people marry within their class. People marry within their society, maybe religion, community, setting, and all that. Remember in the olden days, people were recommended for people to marry, but as the world continues to evolve, it's now the case of making one's choice. Maybe because of your career, because of your exposure, or maybe some people contract marriage when they're in the university or even in the NYSC camp. Some people, I have watched a documentary that people met on a bus, going to Lagos or going to Abuja. They can start interfacing, and a relationship can be struck. Then you could also find that some people met in the airbus. So the relationship that can get to marriage can start from anywhere. So that's why I started by saying that it is according to the one's exposure, according to where you have reached in life. The bourgeois also try to go to school that their children will see the children of the bourgeois and they intermarry. You cannot marry from outside your community. When I mean your community is outside your class or the people you have met in life. Though accidental marriages or luck marriages do happen, but it's very rare in our age today. So even in the olden days, people contract marriage according to their affinity with different families. Maybe the families that have much farmlands, or this family is a royal family, this family is a king or a kingmaker's family, or this family has a good name, reputation, and maybe for their sincerity of purpose and all that. So these are what can bring about marriages. But in our own time, it has changed drastically, you know. So marriage can really survive without money because of what do you call it? People can, you know, cut their coat according to the materials available. So if you want to marry that you're not competing with anyone. One, you are not in marriage for competition. You're not in marriage to please anyone. You're in marriage to build your own family. Your starting up might not be that rosy, but you can now you know, carve a mental picture of how you want your family to be. When you want your child to start going to school, the kind of future you want for your family and for your wife, then you can build a status better than the one you're possessing. So marriage can survive, but when you remove the appetite, when you remove competition, when you remove, you know, using another person to set the standard for which you want your family to thrive on, then you find out that marriage can survive. But if you are coming into marriage to measure up, you want your wedding to be a society wedding when you cannot even afford to host 50 people comfortably. If you want your marriage to be done in hotel presidential, but you can do it in your community village hall, you know, that is when you start to plan for your family. So yeah, I will advise yet to be couples. I will also advise young couples